right, so with this last Wemby video, this is exactly what I expected, to be honest with you.
I want some nasty! Are we having fun yet?
All right, so I normally don't respond to comments under a video, but hey, I just wanted to just give an overall consensus of what I saw here and just tell you my thoughts on it. So recently we did a video on Sohan in which I went live and the chat brought up, hey, there's this Wemby Q&A that you might want to check out. You might really like it. So I jumped on there. I took a look and he answered a question for Sports Illustrated about what surprised you most about the NBA. And then he went on a mini tangent. I won't say a big tangent, just kind of a mini tangent on how he realized a lot of the players that he loved before going to the NBA don't work hard enough. And he was saying to himself, that's it. Like, that's all they do. And my response to it was, hey, even those players that you think don't work as hard as you do, which, let's be honest, Wemby's level of work ethic is on a whole nother level, but even those players are still more accomplished than, you know, what you are right now. Like they are still at those levels that you want to get to. I'm assuming if there's players that he looked up to, these are superstars that's in the league, that he's saying, wow, they don't really work that hard. I mean, a lot of people will say Jokic, right, doesn't work that hard, but he's going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time. Not saying that's the specific player he's talking about, but I know some people in the chat brought up, is it Luka Doncic he's talking about? Even if it's Luka Doncic, he just went to the finals. Like, I think that will be, I don't know. In my opinion, after seeing it, I was like, I hope he's not veering into cocky territory, right? I just don't want him to venture off into that category. He's been great. I've said this many a times that he's my favorite player on the team. He's my favorite player in the NBA. Somebody brought up a joke and I actually liked it. Hold on, where is it? He said, no, your favorite player in the NBA is Jeremy Sohan, Clan. That's funny. Okay, that actually is funny. But no, Jeremy Sohan is my second favorite player behind Wembanyama on the team. And then my third favorite player on the team would be Castle right now. But Jeremy Sohan is not my favorite player, not even my top 3 favorite player in the NBA. I just think the amount of hate that he gets is kind of insane, right? When I think he's actually playing pretty well on the court. But with Wembanyama, I love him. I think that he's great. And a lot of people have brought up, hey, I don't necessarily think it's cocky. And everyone was super respectful, by the way. And I really do appreciate that. I think everyone in the comments were super respectful. I did want to take a look at some of these only because I knew that, you know, I knew it was going to be a little bit of backlash. And that's cool. That's fine. But everyone was super cool about it. So you can see Dozen right here. He brings up how Wemby talking about the drinking and doing drugs thing and not having anything to compensate for wasn't that big of a deal. And I understand that. Like, I completely get that. But, you know, I still kind of unapologetically hold the same opinion that the way that came across was kind of strange. It was kind of strange at the time. And it was maybe it was just the way he worded it. Another thing that people brought up, and I said it in this video as well, like while we were live, but people brought up, well, maybe it's just the fact that he's French. You know, it's kind of a cultural thing. They're brutally honest. And that's fine. That's cool. Like, that could very well be what's going on there. All I could talk about, all I can speak on is how I feel about it. And I felt as if it sounded condescending. And if that's just a cultural thing, that's what it is. But, you know, at least in my opinion, how it came across was just a little weird. All right. It was a little weird. I just didn't like it that much. So, you know, I get it. I understand. So if people thought that it was cocky, that's cool. There were some people that agree with me. If you thought that it wasn't and it's totally fine, that's cool too. All I can say is, as big of a fan I am of Wemby, okay, and as big of a fan I am of the San Antonio Spurs, if I find something a little off key, I will say it. I'll just be honest with you. That's my opinion on it, and I'm gonna stick to it. So at the very least, you can't say that I'm a liar with how I feel about things, okay? Because Wemby literally is my favorite player in the NBA, and you can look on my channel, and it's been nonstop Wemby praise and critiques maybe twice, right? And it's been stuff like this where I critique. But other than that, you know, some people have said, hey, that's just Kobe mentality. It's cool. I get it. I completely understand Wemby wanting his players, the guys who play with him, his teammates, to work as hard as he does. But that can also, I'm not saying Wemby will do this, okay? But that can also go into toxic category as well, very, very quickly. As we all know, Kobe had a huge issue with Shaq. They went back and forth, and Kobe was upset because he saw Shaq eating like a Big Mac in the locker room, or not the locker room. I think it was the gym. I don't know. But he got upset about that, and it's like, dude, Shaq at that time was an absolute monster. So you don't want to get to the point where it's like this person isn't working hard enough, and they're not working as hard as I am, because any of these people that Wemby might have looked up to that's in the league right now, that he's saying, they don't work hard enough, they don't work as hard as me. They're still more well accomplished than Wemby is right now. So that's still where you want to get to. If it's Luka, that's still where you want to get to, right? If it's Jokic, that's where you want to get to. I don't know what player it was particularly. I'm just assuming they were a really good player. So that's all I'm saying. Just keep a little bit of humility, and we're all good. Now, with that being said, took quite a bit of time talking about that. I do want to take a look at this press conference, media availability of Wembanyama. And big shout out to Nobody from Paris. I'm not calling you a nobody. That's your name. Nobody from Paris said A-Clan, and then he gave us a little bit of information, and he translated the French portion to English. So once we get to that point, we can just jump over here and read over what Vic had to say. So I do appreciate that. All love, man. Anyone else that wants to translate anything, you can do it on your own time if you want, and just tag me on Twitter and we'll take a look. All right, Wemby, take it away, my boy.
I'm all ears.
Oh my God, that's loud. I am so sorry. That was a jump scare. That was a jump scare for me, guys. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Okay. Woo.
Vic, what excites you most about a new season?
What excites me most, clearly,
Turn up a little bit.
getting a taste of the high level of the NBA.
There we go.
Getting closer to winning a championship, because that's the goal. It's the long-term goal. And yeah, being just enjoying that, enjoying the sport. It's simple as that. But like, we always want to reach new levels of performance, and that's how I feel.
True.
In your mind, you're talking about new levels. In your mind, what is a new level for you?
Don't let them trap you. Don't let them trap you. Be clever with how you answer this, okay? Okay? Because they will put they will put in the article, Wemby says playoff or bust. Be careful.
Of course, for example, getting into the playoffs would be it's something I've never done, and then going to the NBA Finals is something I've never done. Winning a championship, it's all these steps.
All right, guys, go ahead and look at the articles. Are they using that one? Is that the headline? Oof.
Wait, can you describe the shift in energy
That's
last
Carolina
season to
Teague.
this season? Is there
That's Carolina Teague. She's been on the channel. She's a fan of the channel, and I'm a fan of her. All right, break it down.
Wait, can you describe the shift in energy last season to this season? Is there a difference, and if so, what is that?
Yeah.
Tell them to hurry up and answer it. Hurry up.
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. Everybody it feels like everybody kind of flipped the switch. As I've said before, staff and players, everybody put their work in during the summer, and I see, like, at practice is different from last year. We set up things, for the season that we did not last season, because we get better each year. But if we can be like that and really change this much every summer, we can be great soon.
I think you mentioned flip the switch. You're sort of going to need to do that when the regular season starts, you individually, because you didn't have a real preseason. Have you ever been through something like that before, where you go from not playing a whole lot to full speed?
I was about to say that's not a great question, but I think that is a good question. Yeah, because he's been playing nonstop, right? When has he had a break?
All at once?
Have I done it before? Not really, no, but it's very different in Europe. We have a preseason that's like 2 months and a half long, so
Right.
No, never done it before.
So how do you anticipate
there
that
you go.
going on Thursday? Like, I expect you're going to want to play the whole game.
Yeah, I'm good. It's just that I'm going to be rested. That's the only difference. But it's such a long season that we have many chances to get better, and to fix our our game on both sides of the floor.
Last season, you guys opened with Dallas too. That was your first NBA game. Do you remember what you were thinking, what the feelings were like heading into that
Yeah,
game? Is
I
it different
remember.
at all?
He was emotional. In that first game, he showed greatness, bro. That first game was incredible. I don't know if you guys remember like the way he ended it, because the refs were just not on our side with that game. I mean, I'll always remember his first game because they called so many dumb fouls on Wemby. And when he came in at the end, when Pop was like, "Oh my goodness, okay, fine." I mean, I think one more foul he would have been out. But he put him in at the end of the game in that fourth quarter. He went off. It was like, oh my God. He made the most out of those last minutes, dude.
This year.
I remember, yes, it's different. Last year was just, you know, a lot of experimenting. Where here is we want to perform for, you know, first play of the game, you know. So it's it's very different.
Are you guys
Yeah,
positioned
no Sohan experiment either.
to be a better three-point shooting team this year?
Yeah, as I said, I saw everybody put in the work this summer, and I already see it pay off a little bit. You got guys like Julian, who's just, I mean, we could see his numbers during the summer were just incredible, and I think he's gonna keep, you know, proving he can be amongst the great shooters of this league. So it's all of us really, I think it's gonna be better for sure.
Do you think he'll take more or less three-pointers than you did last year?
I don't know. I think
He's gonna take the same amount. I think if he has the opening, he's gonna let it fly. I don't think he's changing like on a switch just like that, right? The snap of a finger. He's not gonna change his entire game just like that.
I think it'll be about the same number, but
There you go.
better percentage for sure.
What were I'm sorry, Tom. For a good portion of last year, you were either on a minutes restriction or either when you came back,
Yeah.
they continued maybe
I
ramping
feel a
it up
good
slowly,
question coming.
whether it's 24, 26, 28 minutes a game. What are your expectations for playing time this year? Will it be significantly more?
So we don't really use the term minutes restriction because we're just pushing my body to its limits. That's what we're doing, but we don't want to cross the limit to avoid injuries. That's it. But this limit is going to increase.
Oh, I didn't realize that they don't actually use that verbiage on the team. I actually didn't know that. That's interesting.
Every month, every year. This is why, you know, but towards the end of last season, I could play more, and over my career, it's going to be a real something to really keep track of for my progression. And so I'm not going to be playing 48 minutes a game, but if I could, I would want to for sure.
Why was it important to file that lawsuit against the gentleman in Austin on that?
Ooh, the hard-hitting questions. Yes, please, for the love of God, ask that. I don't care what anyone says. I think that that's silly to go through. If you guys don't know what happened, actually, the guy might have gotten in trouble because he was using his name, which I don't know why you would use his name. But some guy in Austin who was selling like merchandise that had like Wemby on it or said Wemby or something like that, he got sued basically. But I think they did send him like a cease and desist, and he ignored it a few times, so that is on him. But at the same time, man, a lot of players just kind of like let that slide. Yeah, I wonder if Wemby's gonna say it was me or if that was just his team. I don't know. This is a tough question. I like it though.
Licensing.
So that's not something I heard about.
Okay. Vic, what's that process?
Is there any percent chance that that's true? Is there any percent chance that that's true? I mean, the guy is literally getting sued right now for using Wemby on his stuff. Is this? I don't know. And I know a lot of people were like, "Hey, you're using the likeness or whatever." I get it. I understand, but like, it's not. I don't think it's gonna hurt that bad. Unless you're using his image like in a really terrible way, right? Like, I don't know, putting like a swastika on his arm or something. Like that would be crazy. But I don't know. You're just using something that's a likeness. I don't know.
Process like in terms of understanding what your limit
These players make a lot of money. Okay, they're very popular. They got a lot of avenues to make dough.
is now, what it might be a month or two from now, what it might be next year. What's that process like, measuring it?
Of prediction? You said the limit?
You talked about the pushing your body
Yeah.
to its limit and
Yeah.
whatever it's
Push it to the limit.
capable of. What is that process like in identifying?
Like sparking
what that
zero.
is?
So that process is so it's very, very interesting question. It's
Plus ultra.
for me, you know, coaches, of course, like basketball coaches, they would like to, of course, they would like us to be safe. They would like us to not, not push it too much because they want us to be available. But in the development coaches, like strength coaches, for example, they want to push us. They want us to be the best. So they want to push us. But I think this is how I see it. My view is that I have to err on that limit, because at the same time I don't want to get hurt, so I don't want to cross that limit. But also I don't want to waste potential, so I want to be right there.
So who gets the last word on what your limit is?
So that's.
They are. What is going on? These are some good questions. You guys are killing it. I hope Carolina asks something again.
Hard to answer. That's hard to answer. At the end of the day, the coach decides if I'm on the court or not. But
yeah, but it's a multifaceted thing. It's the medical staff. It's Wemby himself. We know the thing. We've been here for a while, right? We've had Kawhi.
Of course, it's a team. It's a team thing. We're all a team. But it's not just one-dimensional. There's not only the basketball court. There's many more
There's
stuff.
probably somebody talking to Pop saying Victor's probably good for 32 minutes this week,
Yeah.
34.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, Pop has a complete trust in the medical stuff. Yeah.
Individually, mentally, over the past year, from where you were for the opener this time last year to now, how do you think you've grown?
So mentally, it's first of all, I see the game much differently. Like I can understand it more, of course, but also learning from seeing other players. I see how they approach the game, and I think there's a lot more I can do on the court. So, and it's a big part of mental. It's because you have to know how to press where it hurts for the opponent.
Who are those other players that you observe that from?
KD.
Is there anyone in particular?
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, there's really from what I've observed, there's a real causation between this mentality and the greatness of the player. Luka.
Oh, okay. So.
Shea.
Okay, Luka, Shea. Okay, so we know that Luka was not who he was talking about in the other interview. All right, so we could knock that out the way. He said Shea.
Giannis, Jokic, all these guys.
Okay, Jokic wasn't either. So who was it that he looked up to and he got around them and he's like, no, you're not that great? He didn't look up to Ben Simmons, did he? Because everyone could have told you Ben Simmons hasn't been working hard. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact.
The way they approach the game, it forces respect.
Where were you watching the finals?
Okay, so it's not Jokic or Luka. Who the heck was it?
Your finals were in Dallas, where you're going to be.
James Harden?
Where was I? I think I was at home. I had some time to get a little rest, and then I was working out here.
Home here in San Diego?
Yeah, I was here. Yeah.
Good. All right. Take a couple in French.
Thank you.
Merci. Juste sur celui-là, ta prise de poids, de muscle.
Oh, there we go. We're in French now. All right, so nobody from Paris. Once again, not calling you a nobody. He says here, this is where it starts off. The reporter says, on the subject of your weight gain, you gained 10 kilograms, which is 25 pounds in 12 months. Okay. Well, we can listen to it. I don't have to answer that. No, not at all. It's fake news. 25 pounds in 12 months. It's impossible not to get hurt. On the Spurs report, you're 106 kilograms. What? I don't know. So yeah, this is completely true. We knew about this already. I mentioned this to you guys that there was no way in the heck that Wemby gained that amount of weight in the course of 12. Like, that did not happen at all. They just had the numbers wrong. They just straight up had the numbers wrong. If anything, I think he gained like 5 pounds or something. Like, it's not that crazy what he gained. But yeah, so those numbers were wrong to begin with, even when the season started, and they said how skinny he was, or how his weight, how low his weight was. It was wrong then, and we mentioned that on stream, I believe, that's not right. Anyways, Victor says, wait, what? Oh, okay. On the Spurs report, you're one of Yes, this year, right now. What was it when I came into the NBA? He said minus 11 kilograms. 11, it's impossible. No, I was already almost 95 kilograms that's where he used to play. Yeah, my highest weight was 94 kilograms, 207 pounds. Reporter, so it's a lot less than that. Victor, yeah, it is between 1% and 5% per 12 months, 10 pounds per year max. Yeah, 25 is crazy. How did you work with the staff so that this weight gain does not change your game, your shot? your mobility. Well, it's not that many pounds. He doesn't have to answer. Victor, you have the answer. There you go. I have no trouble gaining weight. During the summer with time to work, it's possible that I gain too much weight, but it's not my style and not my objective to work on physical exercise that simply put weight on the body and don't improve mobility. Yeah, it's always been like that since he was in France. Tis what it is. Yeah, why would you continue with that question? Like, okay, now that we know that it's like almost no weight that you gained, how does that affect your game? He's like, it doesn't. I don't know. Yeah. Thank you, nobody from Paris. If anybody else wants to, have anything that you want me to go over, just tag me in it. So what I'm gonna do is today. Gosh, I hope I'll be able to do it. I'm gonna stick to it though. Try to stick to it. So today's Tuesday. When this is recorded is Tuesday. Tuesday night, I'm gonna go live. We'll go over all the other press conferences, and then also at the end, we can talk some Spurs. And I kind of want to game a little bit. And now that we got the setup, I went live a few days ago, and it was really smooth stream. Everything was perfect. I fixed everything. Okay. You can see down here. Well, you might be able to see. There's a lot of cords down here, but you can see that right there. Got a Wi-Fi extender, and I got the Ethernet cord going from the Wi-Fi extender into this bad boy right here, and it's been working pretty fine, man. So hopefully everything goes well so we can play some Sparking Zero tomorrow. I'm gonna have some fun with that, and you guys can watch me win most of my games. I might lose some, but you can watch me win most of them. So we can talk anime, Spurs, all that good stuff. I don't want to be on too late, but yeah, so just be on the lookout for a stream tomorrow in which we can go over these, or tonight, in which we can go over these press conferences and then play some video games. So anyways, I'll get with you guys later, man. Until next time, bye.